Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you what I am doing to make sure that my tomatoes give me a good harvest. And I'm also going to share in this video what I'm doing to stop the squash vine borers and squash bugs from attacking my squash, zucchini, and I don't want the aphids to be attracted to my watermelon and my cucumbers. And I recently started some seeds for cantaloupe. I'm not going to show you that in the video today because the seeds are just coming up, but I will in another video. Okay? Let's get started. I used to grow so many tomatoes, guys, that I had to can them and give them away. Here's a picture of me showing you what the tomatoes look like before vacation and then after vacation, because I know that you can harvest tomatoes when they're blushing. They won't get any sweeter. In this video, I'm going to share with you how you can maximize your harvest by pruning, because I don't believe in just growing a lot of leaves. I want tomatoes. Before I start pruning my tomatoes, let me just share with you a previous clip of on March the 5th, I brought my tomato plants outside. And you can see here, because we're still having some cooler nights, that I put a plastic dome on them to protect them, to keep them from freezing. And each day as the temperature got warmer and warmer, I would remove the dome during the daytime and put it back on the nights that it was getting, to be cooler. And I want you to know that I did not bring all of my tomato plants out at one time. This first garden bed was planted about 10 days ahead of the second garden bed. And they looked a little wimpy, but I know from my experience that they were going to bounce back. These are the orange peach, and this one is the basket tomato. Okay, and here's another one of the basket tomatoes. It grows kind of like a potato, but it's going to get huge. And I'll pop a picture in the video and show you what it's going to look like. And these are my favorites. I've grown them before, but these are not ones that you grow to get a lot of tomatoes. So since I'm downsizing, I can't grow for everybody in the family. Now, this is the second garden bed, and you can see I'm acclimating the second set of tomato plants outside by covering them with a 40% shade cloth. And then after a couple of days, I transplanted these little wimpy seedlings into the second garden bed. And you can see it right here. I didn't feel comfortable about leaving them out unprotected, so I put some shade cloth on them for a couple of days. Now look at the tremendous difference about 30 days make. Guys, we are in our real rainy season, April, 1st of May. And you can see as I go closer up that we have a lot of flowers on here, and the plants can accommodate tomatoes now at this time. So I'm going to clear up a lot of these unnecessary branches. And over here in this bed, this is the one I planted last. I'm going to start over here first, and I'm going to thin them out so we can get some airflow so that we don't start getting any soil-borne funguses or diseases. I'm working on this side. It's a tight squeeze, but I'm going to thin all of these branches off at the bottom. And I'm going to try to get to those 3 right in there. I may have to get Brian to move this garden bed. Okay, now you can see through there. And I took this opportunity to cut my onions down. And because remember, I'm just growing these for repellents, the little green onions. And you can see I got cleaned up all through there. And I'm waiting on Brian to come up from school so he can help me get these 2 right here when I move this garden bed right here. Guys, that looks so much better. Brian moved this bed for me so I can get in there and clean that all out. And I'm going to show you the leaves and branches on the ground over there. And then I really removed a whole lot on this side. And you can see I haven't touched this one yet. So now I'm getting ready to move down and start on this one after I rake up these leaves. Now I'm getting ready to work on this side. It's so beautiful. Now everything in this garden bed was grown from seeds. You remember, I got a few of the tomatoes over there was on sale at Lowe's, and some of my other tomatoes that I grew from seeds. But I moved right here 2 pots with the Oriental lilies. There's one here. They're making a real slow appearance this year. But I'm gonna get my little bench close up in here, and I am going to really thin this out. And all of the leaves, by the way, will go into the compost. And I see tomatoes. Yep, I'm so happy. I am done with this bed. This garden bed does not have as many plants in it as the first one. You can smell tomatoes. In fact, guys, you can smell tomatoes even when they're seedlings, a few weeks old. This is ground cayenne pepper. It's a 5-pound container that I get from Amazon. I usually just ground up, red pepper flakes and make it into like a little smoothie, but I'm trying to make things easier for me this year. So I went ahead and purchased this large container, and I'm just going to sprinkle cayenne pepper all around my garden beds before the rain, and then it'll mix up like a little paste. So yeah, I'm getting a little tired, and when I get tired, honey, it's time for me to stop. So it's gonna rain tonight. I'll come back out here tomorrow and see how everything looks. So now that I've shown you what I do to my tomatoes, let's move on to the squash, zucchini, and cucumbers, as well as sugar baby watermelons. This is my zucchini, guys, and it's growing very well. And I'm gonna try something different this year with my zucchini and my crookneck squash. I'm going to wrap aluminum foil around the base where the squash vine borers bore into the squash or the zucchini, which is a squash. And I saw somebody do this when I was Googling, because I've tried everything, guys. I've tried injecting them with a needle at the base with BT, the sticky traps. Of course, I've got the moth killer up here. But I'm going to try something I haven't ever tried before. I don't know if it's going to work, so I'm not advising you to do anything like this unless, you got enough squash to experiment. But you can see they're beginning to flower, and fruit is getting ready to set soon. So I'm just going to try it aluminum foil. I'll be back when I get it all wrapped up. Okay, I have it wrapped up around the base, but the borer still could get in. The gardener said just put it where it touches the soil, because that's usually at the base is where they bore the holes through it. So we're going to see. But anyway, I'll let you know what happens, and I'm going to go over there and do my crookneck squash the same way. Okay, if you can see right here, I did the same thing with my squash. So I'll let you know what happens, and I'll bring you back when I spray the BT on it too. It's the next day after I put the foil. Let's get in here. You remember how it was standing up, but the leaves are spreading out. Now it looks like the foil is secure around the bottom of the plants. And this is the squash, of course. And now I'm going to spray it with BT. It's pronounced Bacillus thuringiensis. It is used to control worms and caterpillars that create those squash vine borers. This is what the squash vine borer moth look like that lay the eggs. And right here you're looking at a squash bug that I killed this year. Last year, before I started dialysis, my memory was more fuzzier than it is today. And I couldn't remember what that squash vine borer moth looked like. I'm going to continue to spray it every time that I water the container or after it rains. Now I'm moving over here to the zucchini, and you can see that the leaves have perked up. And I'm going down in here to see the aluminum foil is still in place. And I see I have a bloom. And usually it's a male flower that comes on first, and it is. And hopefully I'll get some females real soon here. And if I don't see that it's being pollinated, I'm going to hand pollinate it, and I'll demonstrate that to you as well. So now I'm just going to pull this back a little bit, and I'm going to spray the BT all around for the squash vine borders to feast off of and die. Usually they come out around May, but you just never know. Okay, while I'm over here, I'm just going to share with you that my sugar baby watermelons are getting ready to take off. I don't see any flowers yet. I could remove this dead flower or decaying flower. And I planted cowpeas with the sugar baby watermelons and cowpeas with the cucumbers. Cucumbers are going crazy. I'm going to have to trellis them up a little bit and try to train them to go up the trellis here. But I only see one cowpea. I got to be patient. Yeah. Okay, so I see the watermelon is wrapping around right here. So let me take that off and try to coax it. And try to coax it up this trellis. Yeah, that's better. It'll wrap itself around there. And I'll just come out here every day and check on them. That's a flower from over there. The wind blew, probably from the rain last night. But I hope these cowpeas hurry up and come up. Look like we're getting something right here. Right there. They'll come up. I'm not worried about it. Look like one maybe right there. Okay, so let me see if I can get this watermelon right here. And get it to go up here. That's it. Okay, I got all three of the plants coaxed up to start going up the trellis. I brought Gorilla Glue and Gorilla Tape. Let me go get that next and fix this. Hey, I joined these two together, and then I repaired this one right over in here. These are nice hoops, and just because they come loose where the metal joints are plastic, don't throw them away. Right here, it looks like a male flower. Look like we're getting a couple flowers right in here. That may even, no, that's a male one. But I'll come back in a few days and show you when we get male and female flowers. So I'm moving on over here to the cucumbers. Let's check it out. This is my Bay Alpha cucumber. And I'm just gonna coax it to go right over in here. They only get to be 6 to 8 feet wide and tall. I see a lot of flowers on them. They don't need to cross-pollinate because they are called parthenocarpic. I don't see any cucumbers in here. What I've got to watch out for is the cucumber beetle. And I haven't seen them. I'll insert a picture of the cucumber beetle. And of course, aphids will try to attack it. And I'll put a picture of aphids and the cucumber beetle. But I think we're going to have some cucumbers real soon. And you can see it's working itself up that trellis that way. And I'm going to try to coax some of these to do the same thing right in here. And that's why I put the hoops in here, just in case they don't reach the trellis. Look over here, it's trying to get with the zucchini. So I'm going to take this one out gently. And I'm going to insert it in here the best I can. Yeah. And then let's go back over this way. So it just needs a little coaxing every few days, okay? You can see my onions and my marigolds down in there as well. To repel the cucumber beetles and the aphids. So these 4 plants, crookneck squash, sugar baby watermelon, black beauty zucchini, and it might be another type of zucchini in there too, and the Bay Alpha cucumber, they're coming on real nicely from when I first planted them. Maybe I'll put a side-by-side video in there. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned something or if you've seen something in this video that you liked, please subscribe to my channel. I live in Mesquite, Texas. I've been gardening for a very long time, and I would love to share what I've learned throughout the years with you. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know that I love you, and God loves you too. Bye now.